This is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today we're going to work on painting large openings, which brush to use. I know I have done this in other videos, but I keep getting asked the question, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of work on this piece with this large black background. This painting is by Kimberly on Amazon. I will put that link in the description. When I say I'm putting the link in the description, that means there's a link down below this video. There's a title of a video, and beside it to the right is a little tiny arrow. Click the arrow, it drops down all the information. I spent a lot of time making sure all those links are in there for you. If you can't find those links, go to my blog at melaniegilstrap.com/blog, and I have several entries for paint by number that will give you links to every product that I use on a regular basis. Okay, so having said that, this is the image that we're working on. It is a fabulous little Santa Claus for my grandbabies. Now I realize some of you guys do not celebrate Christmas. Santa is pretty specific to Christmas, so you know, this one may not appeal to you, but we're just gonna work on this one because it's got so much background. Now for the big backgrounds, like this black, I'm going to use a flat brush. So the size of the flat brush is a 5/8 inch brush, but it does not matter which one you use. A flat brush is what's, you know, really easy for these bigger openings. I would say get a 3/4 or even a 1 inch for these really large openings. You will probably have to go back over and touch up anyway, because large backgrounds, it's hard to tell what is covered until it dries, and then you'll see patchiness. So some places will need like 2 coats, some places only need 1 coat. So what we're gonna do is when I taped this piece down, it was a folded piece. I ironed it, and I've done a video on that. I haven't uploaded it yet, but a lot of people, most of the time I'll tell you to, tape to the edge. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to paint this border, I haven't really been too careful about taping up to the edge, but I will use this flat brush as kind of a straight edge for me. So I've already added some Flow Aid and a little water to my paint. So it's a great consistency. It might even need to be a little thinner, but the thinner you get it, the less coverage you're gonna get. So it's kind of better to work with a thicker paint than it is to thin it too much. So I'm gonna, kind of put my flat brush along this edge. You could use whatever brushes you have, as long as they're gonna cover some space. So it just makes it quicker for you to use a flat, wide shader brush than it does using something like, let's pull here, a round. This is a round 3. You could use a larger round, but even if you do that, it's going to take a lot of strokes to cover all of this background. So I use a wide shader brush. And you'll see I have a big blob of paint on here. So what I'll do is I'll put it down away from the edge, and then I will kind of work myself up to the edge and then pull it down, and then I'm gonna thin this out as much as possible. And this line doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. If I'm gonna frame this, the frame will overlap the edge of your painting by 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. If I stretch this piece, which is probably what I'm going to do, I will pick a color and paint that border. I haven't decided how I'm gonna approach that yet, honestly. So we want to make sure that we're getting this texture smoothed out. And I'm not gonna take it all the way to the edge of his body. I'm just going to leave myself some room to go back with a smaller brush and get close up against the edges. I got a big blob on there. I did it on purpose. Let me see if you can see it. This is not liquid. It's not gonna fall off here, so it's not gonna drip. I don't want anybody thinking, oh my gosh, she's about to drip all that black on her Santa. It would be able to be covered even if I did, but there is a solution, you guys, to pretty much every problem that you will face on a paint by number. You know, a lot of people will make smart comments. Oh, it's just paint by number. What's so complicated? So that annoys me because you're right. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? You get your kit, you open it up, you use the horrendous brushes that come with it. You've got your paints, they're super thick. You know, you're looking at it and you're going, oh my gosh, this canvas is super slick. You know, that's fine. If you want to paint it without any tools, I'm not telling you you have to. I'm just trying to make your life easier. You know, my links that I provide you are affiliate links. Otherwise, I couldn't afford to do what I'm doing. I can't afford, you know, to just come out of pocket to show people things. But that kind of gives me back a little bit to recuperate what I have to spend to do videos, products that I have to buy. You know, they're not sending me all this stuff for free. I don't know if there's a misconception that companies will send you everything for free and then you just review it. It doesn't work that way. It does in some cases, but typically it comes out of the person's pocket, the YouTuber's pocket. So I guess it kind of annoys me a little bit when somebody leaves a smart aleck comment, you know? I'm over here really trying to be helpful. I love this hobby. I love to share things that I've learned that will help, you know, troubleshoot and stuff, but I really get annoyed with people who are gonna be super negative, kind of make fun of our art. Anything you create yourself is an art. I don't care what it is. It may not end up in a museum, or an art gallery, but it doesn't matter. We're not doing it for that purpose. We're doing it to enjoy the art ourselves, to possibly hang it in our own home or to give it as a gift or whatever. So people can say what they want, but the minute you get your paint by number, if we both did the same paint by number, they're not gonna turn out the same. You're gonna have a different method. You might have a different color scheme with the same painting, depending on where you bought it. It's your painting from that point on. You make it your own. Don't be afraid to try something new. You can always, you know, go over it again with paint if you have to. So you'll notice I went ahead and I'm doing as far as I can reach pretty much on both sides. And then I'm gonna rotate my canvas around to where it's backward and work on it at the top. Then I'll go back and I will do the detail work around the edges, like down in here, you know, which we can go ahead and add a little paint. Now, you may not be able to tell because in order for me to get the whole thing in the camera, I have to set it at a certain height, and it's hard to zoom in without losing a lot of detail. It only goes so far when I zoom, but I'm making sure there's no like texture, stroke marks, anything like that, and just smoothing them out, but I'm not being super careful. You guys, you can see, I'm just kind of slapping it on there. But I do want to make sure that when it dries, it's going to, you know, give me a nice smooth finish. It just means less work later if you kind of take care to begin with. Okay, so I've rotated him around. I'll probably have to shift him at different angles and stuff to get in here. The closer stuff, I can get a little more control. So I'm not gonna do the edge down there yet until I can get a little closer and kind of rotate it towards me, because I just don't want it to be messy on the edge. Okay, so now I've gotten most of the black larger areas kind of laid down. Okay, so now I've gotten most of the black larger areas kind of laid down. One thing I did here, and it was just like, don't even know what I did. But anyway, so I went over number, let's see what number this is. This is number 5, I think. Anyway, so later, after this completely dries, I will take number 5 and I will go back and fix that. But these are things that you need to see because everybody messes up at some point, and I say mess up, and I really kind of hate to call it that because it's not really a mess up. I mean, it's something you can fix. There's a solution to it. So I don't really think, it's not like it's gonna make or break your entire painting. So I'm gonna flip this back around, and what we're going to do is work on getting up closer to our fella. Santa is coming together. I mean, like his shape is just that black made his shape just pop. So I have a plan for what I'm gonna do with all the white on this painting. So I will probably do that in a separate video because I'm kind of excited about it. But we're gonna go ahead and like paint, you know, pretty close to the edges and everything. So what I can do, if I need to do right up along that border, I can take one of my smaller chisel blender brushes from Princeton. This is a size 12, or I could even use a smaller one, a 4, but around these straight edges, okay? But if I'm gonna go in and do some of these wavy areas, I will typically use maybe a larger round brush. This one that I showed you earlier, the number 3. This is a good one because it's gonna cover large spaces, but it's also gonna get in here around all these little, you know, organic areas. So I wanna try to be able to get where I can work and show you at the same time. But I'm gonna start with this one, the round 3, and this one is from Golden Maple. I just did a video on this set of brushes, so you can look for that. It's detail brush video. I was comparing 2 sets, and this is the one I tended to lean towards. I'm gonna start working about right here and bring it down towards me. I've almost emptied this one paint pot, but thankfully they gave me 3 total of black. So I have more paint, no worries. to get into these areas but not have to be so precise. So I'm going in with a number 4 Princeton Chisel blender brush, sorry. And I'm just gonna kind of get a little more surface coverage right here and get a little closer to the border. And that way it doesn't have to take so much time. So I'm gonna try my Golden Maple 2/0 brush to get in closer. When I say try, what that means is I do not know which one's the best brush at this point. I like to try different ones, do whichever one I have the best luck with, and that's what I'll do. So you do not have to know automatically, oh, this is gonna be a place for a 12/0. You know, once I see the brush tip, I can kind of determine if it's gonna be what I need. You will get to the point where you do that too, and you can just say, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna need to use for this section. This one allows me to kind of get really close to the line and do all this extra like detail stuff in here. I'm getting in the bottom of this pot and it's kind of thick, but I don't want to add flow aid because I'm afraid that it's gonna not be enough paint for a drop of flow aid. And I really need to add something to it. What I'm switching to right now is disposable 00 One Happy Choice paintbrushes, because I need to get down in this little teeny little opening that I've created. Yay! Okay. So I still have this area here that's not up against his little mustache, but the way I do it, I rotate, because I'm right-handed, I will rotate clockwise so that I can work left to right. You'll notice I keep the brushes that I've been using pretty close. I don't put them back in the container because then I have to look for the one I've been using. So I'm just keeping these here in case I need to use them again. My cosmetic wipe dried out last night, and that's fine because all I do is add a little water to it to refresh it. You can put it in a Ziploc if you like. You could put it in a sealed, little tiny Rubbermaid container or whatever. To keep them fresh, but until they get dirty, I keep using it. I just add a little water to it. Now this brush was super frayed. All of my Artist Loft brushes are, and I have not replaced them yet since I've started using the cosmetic wipes, but I thought I might try just trying to get this one, the point back, because this is my preference on brushes for working in these smaller spaces. This is a Detail 3/0. It is frayed, but I'm gonna try to get into some of these areas over here with it. And if it doesn't seem to wanna play nice, I'm just gonna end up having to order some new ones. Because now that I have the cosmetic wipes to wipe my tip off with, that conditioning agent actually keeps it in point. But I didn't have that when I got these brushes. All right, now I'm gonna be getting up all up in here. I'm trying not to get into front of the camera, but I still need to get some, I need to be able to get this detail area across at the edge without blocking you guys. So what I've told people in the past is I work left to right, top to bottom. So when I say top to bottom, I don't mean top to bottom. I mean left to right, top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom. And that way I'm going like top to bottom and moving over, if that makes any sense. So you'll notice I have not done this section here yet. There's a lot of that to do. So I'm trying to just kind of work left to right for now, and I'll start here and go do this stuff, and then I'm gonna go back after this dries and kind of just fix up all this edge here. Okay, everyone, I'm getting a little shaky because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. And I'm also gonna let some of this dry. And I appreciate you being here to paint with me today. Painting large areas does not have to be intimidating. You just need to approach it kind of like I did with different brushes, and you'll be successful. All right, you guys, thanks as always for joining me, and I'll be back soon to do a little more work on this little cute guy. See you soon. Thanks as always for watching.